What's up, y'all? Welcome to everybody watching our Next Level Talks, man. I'm your host, you know what I'm saying? Your guy, your brother, your friend, your coach, your mentor. Whether you're here to become a successful professional speaker or whether you like, yo, Jay, I'm already speaking, I rock with you to go to the next level, or whether you like, man, Jeremy, I'm not even really on the speaking part. I just joined Next Level Talks because I really want to be able to talk that talk and walk that walk. This is for those of y'all that's like, man, I really want to go to the next level on every single aspect of my life. And we're going to talk about that today. Like what it takes to win on multiple different areas, what it takes to win in multiple different places and seasons and times of your life, what it takes to win in all areas. What if I told you that you can win in every single aspect of life? What if I told you you don't have to pick and choose between health and wealth and your career and family and personal? What if I told you it is possible for you over time to win in every single aspect? I'm gonna talk about that tonight. I'm gonna show you the things that you gotta do to put yourself in the best position to win. And like always, I'm gonna answer your questions at the very end. This is Next Level Talks. Let's go.
You go out here and you claim your seat.
Oh, I just touched down, now it's time to celebrate. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Keep it a C note, if I'm speaking, I'm the keynote. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. Dance, 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 dance.
I got the team here. Put the camera on the team. Team, say what's up to the people, man. Look at my shy home team. Look, y'all, we a team of, I was about to say killers and savages, a great people. Look, y'all, we just hired somebody to work with our organization. First off, before I tell y'all insider secrets, subscribe. Stop playing. I'm about to put insider secrets on here that I ain't told nobody on Instagram. I ain't told nobody on Facebook. I ain't shared it with nobody else. I'm about to give y'all insider information. So subscribe right now. Subscribe. And y'all tell me what city y'all coming in from. Talk to me. Let me know what city in the chat you coming in from. You know what I'm saying? Is it Chi-Town in the house? Is it the West Coast, the best coast, as they say? Is it right here in the dirty South? Is it a different country? Y'all tell me in the chat where you tapping in from. I definitely want to know what city, what state, what country, whatever you guys are tapping in from. And tell me how you feeling. Tell me how you feeling today. I want to engage with y'all. This is live. Others watch the pre. Are you gonna get me live? And I want to be able to kind of connect with you and see where you at physically and where you at emotionally, mentally. All right. So talk to me. What they saying, team?
Yep, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
Chicago.
Chi-Town.
ATL.
Yep.
New Bern, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Macon, Georgia. Yeah, they in there.
I love it. Y'all in here. So check this out. So again, subscribe. Shout out to all the people in the Next Level Speakers Academy. If you're in the Speakers Academy, you got love for the Next Level Speakers Academy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know in the chat if you are in the Speakers Academy, okay? So let's get this show on the road, right? Let's get this show on the road. And we locked in, right, y'all? All right. So look, this is what I want to talk to y'all about today. And do me a favor, share this. As a matter of fact, everybody like this. We need to get the numbers up, right? Because I'm trying to talk to the masses. So like it. Let me tell you what happens when you like this live. YouTube says, oh, people like it. Oh, okay. So when other people go to the app or when other people open up the app, they're going to see this recorded or they're going to see it live. So do me a favor, like it right now. Like it right now. Whether you're watching the recording or you're watching it live, it means a lot to me. And then just put done in the chat once you like it. And make sure you subscribe so you can catch this energy on a weekly basis. Now, check this out. I have been in a very interesting season of my life just trying to grow. And a lot of people look at me like, man, Jay, you have accomplished some great things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing it big. Like, look at you now. And I'm like, all of that's cool. Don't miss me with the you've arrived, right? Because it's still a growth. I'm still a work in progress. Like, I be saying, let me tell you something. I be saying stuff to my team on a regular basis. I'll be like, Deani, you be proud. I'll be like, Crump, you be proud. I'll be like, Nick, you be proud. I'll be like, Tracy, you be proud. And they're like, of course, I'm always proud of you. I'm like, no, but I'm making adjustments. Come on, somebody put adjustments in there. I'm making adjustments. I'm not the type of person that's like, okay, I'm doing great, I'm winning, I'm the boss, and I'm doing big. Nah, I'm still making adjustments because I want to be the best version of me I can be. I'm listening to my heart. I'm taking more time to think. I'm taking time to pray. I'm trying to be very calculated with my moves, and I'm making sure that each move is my best move, right? And so I'm winning in a lot of different areas of life. And I want to talk to y'all about that today, right? I believe in order for you really to go to the next level, it's going to take help and support. I believe, now you can fight me on this, right? I could be wrong. I believe that the number one reason why people are not further along in life, or why people are not where they should be in life, or when people are not living up to their full potential, is because they're trying to do life by themselves. They don't have coaches, they don't have mentors, they don't have people to hold them accountable, they don't have people to support them and affirm them, they don't have people to show them what it could look like. They just kind of floating and going along the journey of life, right? But the reality is you have something inside of you that should come out into the world. And we want the absolute best version of you. Again, I've been doing an audit of my life. People be like, Jeremy, I've had some friends be like, bro, you the most finding a coach and mentor Negro we done ever met. I'm like, absolutely. I got a marriage coach, right? 2 of them. I got a personal counselor and therapist. I have a CEO coach, right? I have a business mentor, which is separate from my CEO coach. I have a personal trainer, so like a physical coach. Like I literally have different coaches and mentors in different aspects of my life. Why? Because I want to be the best version of me I can be. It's as simple as that. I'm going to masterminds. I just went, y'all check this out. Again, I'm giving y'all insider information here, right? I just went to a mastermind here in Atlanta at the Porsche racetrack. You know, they got like the Porsche car company, the Porsche, they got a headquarters here in Atlanta, and they got a racetrack and everything. It's called the Porsche Experience. I pull up, security, I'm on the list, they let me in. It's a different type of room, y'all. I done been to a lot of masterminds with a lot of my entrepreneur friends here in Atlanta. This is a different type of room. I was the least earner in this room. Deani, they saying stuff to me, dude, like, they saying stuff to me like, yeah, I've just opened up my 36th restaurant. I'm talking about high-end steakhouses. Like, they just talking differently. One person's like, yep, I just got done building this community with 280 new modern homes. I'm like, 280 new modern homes? You know what I'm saying? What's the company that Warren Buffett owns? Berkshire Hathaway? Look, y'all, this one woman was just like, yeah, I've got a question. They was like, oh, this is so-and-so. Tell them what you do. She's the president of Berkshire Hathaway. I'm thinking like, the Berkshire Hathaway? You know what I'm saying? Like the company that Warren Buffett owns, like she's in the room. I'm talking about like major players, and I'm in that room, and there was a time, right? Because it's about maybe 80 people in the room, and I'm in the middle of the room, right? And there are times when people are able to chime in and chip in and say, hey, you know what? I went through this. Hey, I went through that. I promise you, every 15 minutes, I had something to say. Deani, I promise you, every 15 minutes, I had value to add. God was like, boy, if you don't shut your mouth and just absorb this energy, this ain't the time to be, this ain't the time to be motivational. This ain't the time to be deep. But part of me was like, but I really do got value to add. But the other part of me was like, boy, shut your mouth and just learn. I don't know who needs to hear that, right? But I put myself in the room and just absorb as much information as possible because I want to be the best me I can be. And right, and so I'm there and I'm in this experience, and you know, people are networking and talking and making business deals, and they got a person that, and listen to me, y'all, this room was, their focus was super holistic. So they was like, okay, so we had one guy come up, my man worth like $300 million. My man came up and gave a brief presentation and was like, okay, so I'm gonna tell you all about a few years ago how I went through the darkest time of my life when I didn't get out the bed, I didn't bathe for 2 weeks, I was on the verge of taking my life. My man was just like, I was the bottom of the bottom, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, super successful, but still struggling on the inside, and gave a whole presentation about mental health and bandwidth and depression, and sometimes you need medication. Like, it was so refreshing. He was so open. He was so transparent. And I'm thinking like, bro, you worth $300, or no, not $300 million. But he's like, man, life was kicking my butt and I was ready to check out. And so he was like, I'm just warning you all because we are a room of high earners and high level individuals, but we all be struggling. Y'all, this was a very holistic type of room. You know what I'm saying? They led with prayer at the beginning. They had a people come in and they did like a praise song. It was like one little song. But I was like, look at them with that little acoustic guitar singing praises to the Lord. You know, like it was a different type of experience. Why am I telling you this? They had all these different aspects, even the physical. They had someone come up and talk about stem cell and what their company can do for you and to purify your blood and just to help. So I'm in this room and I'm like, yo, this reminds me on a low scale of what we push and what we represent, like at our conferences and things. And I'm gonna talk about that. So I wanna challenge all of y'all that's on with me. Look at the different areas of your life. As my boy Jamal King, the 9-to-5 millionaire, I love that dude, man. That's my brother. He will be speaking at this year's conference. You see the QR code right there. My team is some savages. Lord have mercy. He knew I was about to mention Jamal. That boy had that thing pop up so good. Hey, this production is so good. People are going to think this was pre-recorded. Nah, this is live, baby. It's the next level experience. You feel me? So check this out. Jamal King talks about the 5 pillars. And I might mix it up, but I feel like it's faith, finance, fitness, family. I don't know what the other one is. Fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But me and him connected because I be preaching like the same message. Like you want to look at a holistic picture. So for those of you all that might be single and you got some kids, like what books are you reading? How present are you with your children, right? Like you should constantly be trying to be the best child possible. Let me tell y'all something, man. I don't know if I told y'all 2 weeks ago, when I told y'all I'm a hypocrite, but I'm gonna repeat it in case y'all missed the episode, which you should go back and watch it because that was a good one. What you think they should watch that one, right, dude? Because I was real transparent.
That was the best one before we take it down.
Yeah, we can't keep that one up for long. I was a little too vulnerable, and I'm a hypocrite. But like really, like when you look at family, you should literally try to ask yourself, like, okay, how can I be the best parent possible? And then you gotta listen to the voice of God. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm not reading parent books like that, but God be giving me the plays. Me and my daughter was going back and forth the other day. I got upset, felt like she was being disrespectful, and I went off. I was like, I'm tired of talking to you. Go to your room. And so she went in there crying, and then she said something else back with her attitude, and I was like, I'm taking your iPad for a week. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so mad, and I yelled at her. And Holy Ghost was like, if you had your next level team in the kitchen, you wouldn't yell like this. God was like, ooh, he was like, I'm an audience. So he was like, bruh. And so I'm like, man, I ain't spanked my daughter since she was 4. She's 11 now. I ain't cussing, but sometimes I'm gonna raise my voice and I get upset. And God was just like, yeah, but your daughter could take that as anger. So express to your daughter how disappointed you were. Express to her how upset you were. Like express to her how you felt disrespected because you told her to do something. She gave you pushback and gave you pushback and gave you pushback again. Like talk. So I went in her room and I said, baby, do you know why daddy was, I said, first off, I apologized. You know what I'm saying? I was like, baby, I'm sorry for how I responded. She was like, it's okay, Dad. I said, no, it's not okay. I could have responded different. I said, let me tell you why I was so upset. I said, baby girl, when I grew up, Nana and Papa who be spoiling you, that let you jump on couches and stuff, I don't know who them folks is. But when I was growing up, it wasn't none of that energy, baby. If they told me to do something, it was yes, sir, no, sir. It was no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. There was never a time when I would say, but why I gotta do this? Or can I just do that? But last time you said, I said, baby, that is disrespectful. And I have failed you because I've let this go on for too long. I said, baby, I'm gonna give you the world. Do you know that your mama said that she would give you the world if you just handle your chores and handle your business? Y'all could take annual trips to Paris. I said, do you realize how blessed you are? I said, but baby, let me tell you something. We're not going to bless you with all of this that we could if your behavior is. I just had a real honest, raw conversation. I want to be the best parent. I'm having really raw, hard, honest conversations with my wife. I told my wife the other day, I said, hey, I like this version of you. I don't like this version of you. When you stressed out and you working 12 hours a day and you ain't got no time for me and the kids and you just a shell of yourself, I don't like that version of you. That takes me back. Like, I like the version of you when you're a bit more free-spirited, right? I'm having different type of conversations with my wife now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's holding me accountable, I'm holding her accountable. Like, I'm just trying to grow on all levels. I'm fighting. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning, but I'm fighting. I'm trying to get better. CEO coach. I'm reading books. I'm listening to podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like marriage coaches. Like I got a trainer. Like the fitness, the health, the diet. Like all of that. Listen to me, y'all. I went and gave blood today, right? And I did blood work. So I've been out in these streets today, y'all. So I went and gave blood, donated blood to save a couple lives. You know what I'm saying? Then I went and get some blood work done at this place. I go to this health and wellness place so I can be in the best shape. Do y'all know I sit on the in-body scan that scans your body? They tell you the visceral fat, they tell you your body fat percentage, they tell you all that, your cholesterol too high, like how much you weigh, like all of that. And I got the stats, I got the numbers. Why? Because I want to grow. What am I telling you? I'm not just telling you what's going on in my world. I'm not the type of person that doesn't practice what he preaches. I'm living it. Why? Why do I get blood work done? Why am I meeting with the doctors on a regular basis, like every quarter? Like, why am I making these adjustments? I want to be the best me I can be. I'll be 44 this year. I met a guy a few months ago, DeAndre. My man had to be like 70, 71, in better shape than me, more energy than me. I'm thinking like, bro, what you eating? I'm finna eat twigs and berries and that's it, man. Like, whatever it is. I want to be the best I can be. Why? So I can operate at the highest level, so God can use me at the highest level. So what does that mean for you? What adjustments you got to make? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you have to do to put yourself in the best position? I got one of my homeboys who I love dearly. This is my boy, my dog, my play cousin. He was like, bro, I'm coming to town for the conference. I want to be around that energy. Guess what? Guess what? Kinfolk is not coming for the conference because he wants to be a speaker. He ain't thinking about being no speaker. My man was like, I need that energy with me. That energy with the conference stems from me. If I'm not who God made me to be, and I try my best to give the purest version of myself, the most holistic version of myself, because my team in the world deserves that, right? I want to give my all to God, right? It would not be what it is. So now when we talk about the conference, one thing I'm really proud of, and shout out to our whole team, the Next Level Speakers Conference next week, June 7th through 9th, right here in Atlanta, game changer. I'm going to tell you right now. There is nothing like this that you've ever experienced. If you all have ever been to any of our conferences, like you know this to be true. The Next Level Speakers Conference is something different, right? And so for me, we put together this conference. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about finance. You notice I ain't mentioned nothing about the marketing, the branding, the website, getting converted, copy, all of that, like industry standards. Like, we're going to give you that. I'm highlighting the marriage stuff, the health stuff, the mental, you know what I'm saying, stuff, the physical, like all the other aspects. Why? So you can be as well-rounded as possible. That's how 100 and something people got baptized last year, because they was just like, man, okay, I need the marketing, I need the branding, I need the web, I need all of that stuff for sure, but I also need the presence and power of God in my life. So that's what I'm talking to y'all about this evening, right? It's just you taking a holistic approach to your growth. You taking a holistic approach to your learning. You taking a holistic approach to your life. When you look at every single aspect of your life. In my next couple of talks, I'm going to do one on occupational integrity, which shows you how to operate at the highest level with integrity in all the spaces you occupy as a human. So when we talk about next level living, it's the constant pursuit to be everything that God has called you to be. I just want you to win. And some of you all don't realize this. The reason things aren't breaking through for your speaking business, it's not the lack of website. Sometimes it's just who you are. Sometimes it's just what adjustments you got to make. I am daily going to God like, God, any other adjustments, anything else I need to do, anything I need to repent for? Like, I want to make sure ain't nothing in my life that's stopping and blocking me from getting what you have in store for me. So I want to be the absolute best I can be in every single aspect, because I got life. I think for me, things changed when my brother Brian, and some of y'all was on, you know what I'm saying, a month or so ago when I gave a tribute to my brother Brian DeWitt Thomas, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that was like my best friend. We traveled the world together, you know what I'm saying? Like doing ministries, baptizing folks. Like for 3 years, we was on Grace School. I've known him since high school. That's my man, 50 grand. You know what I'm saying? Was there a 2 or 3 you put up, dude? Okay. So it's just like, so we've been building, right? So when he dies tragically 3 years ago in a car accident, it just dawned on me like, yo, he not here no more. How dare I go through life? How dare I be on some selfish stuff? How dare I say, I'm going to just kind of do a little something. It's like, nah, I'm going to give it my all, But in giving it my all, that don't mean grind, grind, grind. That don't mean work, work, work. Nah. That means, okay, if I'm gonna give it my all, I'm gonna give me my all. I'm gonna give me time to grow. I'm gonna give me time to heal. I'm gonna give me time to rest. I'm gonna give me time to sleep. I'm gonna put the best stuff in my body. Does that make sense, y'all? And so I want you to grow. The word of God says that he wants you to prosper even as your soul prospers. Every aspect of your life, you should be growing. You should be making adjustments. You should be evolving slowly but surely. Listen to me, y'all. I just talked to a friend of mine recently. Come on, man. This is real life. I just talked to a friend of mine, somebody I love dearly. She had a car. Car was breaking down. Took it to the shop. The car was like maybe 5 years old. Took it to the shop. They was like, yo, it's in really bad shape. All right, but because you've been great with your credit, went from a really, really, really high interest rate to like 5.4, like tier 1 credit. We can get you a brand new car with all the bells and whistles. And I was just like, wow. And though that was a major upgrade, and it was a much nicer, newer, brand new car with all the technology, the big old screen and sunroof and all of that, I know if she could pull up at a Tesla dealership or go and get a, you know what I'm saying, a Mercedes or something else, she would have got that. But she was like, you know what? This Toyota is a major blessing. I'm like, yo, do you realize the progress you made in the last 15 months? The last 16 months? Like, it's slow. I said, next 2 years from now, we go back and you mess around and get that dream car. But you got to work towards it. I'm sharing that with some of you because some of you are watching this right now and you like, man, Jeremy, I'm not nowhere near where you are, but you somewhere. You somewhere. Do the best you can with what you have and keep growing. I've talked to cats now that's literally speaking for colleges, major conferences, but when they first started, they was just like elementary school, middle schools. Then they got to a point, it was like, okay, I can do high schools. Then it was like, okay, I finally got my degree, now I can do colleges. You do the best you can with what you have, as long as you're making progress forward. That's all I want y'all to get. I want to make sure that you're making constant strides every single day, closer in, getting closer and getting closer and getting closer to your goals. Do you even have goals? That's a whole nother question we gotta ask ourselves. There are a lot of people that's going through life that don't have no goals. They just like, man, I'm just trying to get by. But then they talk down and look down on when people put together, what's the vision boards, all that vision board, all this manifestation. You better stop saying that. It's a whole bunch of people that's living their dreams. And yes, they manifested it, but they also worked. So don't be that person that's like, oh, people manifest this, manifest that. Yeah, they manifest things. They have a vision board, but they also put that work in versus someone else that's just like, I'm just living, just kind of going by day to day. God don't want that for you. God don't want that for you. And this is why I get so excited when I think about our conference every year. Because there are people that's coming to our conference and they think they coming just to get the speaking aspect, but don't realize the holistic approach that we're going to take. That's why we allow spouses to come free. We want to support the family element as much as possible. So we want your husband next to you supporting your speaking business. We want your wife next to you supporting your speaking business. Whatever ticket you get, your spouse automatically gets to come for free. That's huge. This is a full 3-day conference downtown Atlanta, Georgia, June 7th through 9th. You know what I should have did, Deani? I should have put together a flyer that said 100% satisfaction guarantee money back. I wouldn't be lying. I should do that with everything we do from here on out. Just remind me, like, because it makes sense. Because it's nobody that can come to our conference after the first day and be like, nah, let me get my $400 back. It's not possible, right? And so I'm just sharing this with y'all, and I'm really passionate about it because I know what this conference, what this event can do for you. When I saw and found out that 70% of the people that come are interested in being a speaker, so they come to the Next Level Speakers Conference. But the other 30%, they just there for the support, for the energy, for the vibe, for the anointing, you know what I'm saying, for the flow, you know what I'm saying? Because in the speaker speaking life to them, it's different, y'all. And so I'm excited. So I did want to, as I'm talking about living life on the next level, I'd be behooved. Is that the word? Yeah. Behooved. I took a gamble on that. You know what I'm saying? I'd be behooved. Now I sound deep. I'd be behooved. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the conference, you know what I'm saying? Because I know the holistic approach that we take. I know how we've been praying over the building. I know how we've been praying over the event. I know how we've been praying over the different speakers. The team has been like, yeah, we should be praying and fasting. Like it's like the preparation it takes to serve you at the highest level. People coming in from Canada, people coming in from the UK, people coming in from South Africa. So this isn't even just like the biggest national conference for speakers. This is the biggest global conference for speakers and people who want to go to the next level. So if you want to hear live on stage myself and Dr. Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in the world, right? You look at my brother Inky Johnson, that is just crushing it on every level with his podcast and speaking and on stages. Like, if you want to hear from Rachel Joy, if you want to hear from Laura Castleman, if you want to hear from CJ, the brains behind ET, if you want to hear from Coach Crump and you want to hear from Jessica Lundy, our very own keynote writing coach. Like if you want to hear from Dr. Anita Phillips, if you want to hear from Tim Ross, if you want to hear from Scott Free, you feel me? Like if you want to hear from Lilia Garcia, like we've got so many, if you want to hear from my hero, my dad, my pops, Daryl Anderson's going to give a word Saturday morning that's going to specifically speak life to the men. Like if you want to hear from these giants in the industry and learn from the likes of Nikki, you know what I'm saying, who is brilliant when it comes to branding. If you want to learn from Marshall, who's brilliant when it comes from the graphics and stuff like that, the stuff you got to have to put into your business, to put you at the top of the game will be in the building. If you want to hear from Jamal King, you talk about faith, you talk about perseverance, you talk about getting locked in, you talk about building generational wealth. Like when that brother takes the stage, it's a game changer. And all of that June 7th through 9th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm excited. And why do we do this conference? It's not just to train people. It's not just to put them in the best position in the speaking business. It's to put you in the best position in life. And we want you to live the best life. We want you to get everything that God has for you. We want you to go to a whole nother level. So we're inviting you June 7th through 9th right here in Atlanta, Georgia for the Next Level Speakers Conference. If you can make it, if not, we're doing it every year. It's going to be some other events. Keep on tapping in with me. Speaking of tapping in, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. Make that thing pop up just like that. I was off by a millisecond. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, y'all definitely subscribe. Thank you for sharing this. And let me take these questions. Yeah, let me tackle these questions and then get ready to get out of here. What you got? Yeah.
All right. So, Coach, is it Ricky said, I'm working on a keynote right now, big bro. And I wanted to learn more about bullet notes and how you effectively articulate a speaking speech without notes.
So I'm not sure how to articulate a speaking speech. I'm just messing with you, bro. I got you. Is it Richie? I think it's Richie. Richie. Okay. So, Coach, so I'll say this. So if you're working on a keynote and you want to learn more about the bullet points. So let me just rewind and do this to add the most value to you. There are questions I ask before every event. You want to understand who's in the audience. You want to understand what's the theme of the event. You want to understand what's the purpose for the event. That's important to know. What's the theme? What's the purpose for this event? You want to ask the people, the coordinators, like, tell me about the people who's in the audience. Are they students? Are they teachers? Are they construction workers? Like, is it real estate? Like, we want to understand who the people are in the audience. And then, okay, what are their pain points? Okay, director or CEO of the company, whatever, what are some of your pain points? What do you wish you could change one thing within the employees within your company? What do you wish you could change within the industry? What do you want them to learn from my speech? Here's the big one, Coach. How do you want them to feel after I get off the stage? Once you gather all the insight, you know how they want them to feel, what you want them to learn, what the call to action should be. Like you're getting all this insight to where you can go out here now and just give that speech. Then you see what stories of your message can most relate to that audience. That's why it's important to figure out, okay, the makeup of the people, the demographics, the ethnicities, all the details about the folks in the audience to have an idea of the audience that you're speaking to. And then you go out there, man, and you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And so your question, so now let me get to your overall question. The bullet points, right? So for me, I have an intro, I have a bunch of key points that I want to talk about, and then I have an outro. So for you, if they have screen and they have tech capabilities where you can put screens up on the wall, then I would definitely have a slide deck that has 5 or 6 slides. And it might be like, hey, these are the 6 principles that I want to teach you to show you how to do X, Y, and Z. Principle number 1. And you should be able to read that principle, read that statement, read that quote, play that little video, show that picture, whatever. You should be able to talk on that principle for the next 5 to 6, 7, 8 minutes. Okay, principle number 2, click. So that's what I would say. That's what I tell people to do. Now, I have been using a lot of presentations lately with a lot of my corporate events, but it's because they prefer the slides so people can take notes. But 9 times out of 10, bro, I'm taking the stage. And as long as it's here and it's here, oh, that's a wrap, bro. Yes, that's a wrap, bro. But I listen here, and then I understand here, and God feel this here, and then I can go from there. So I think the biggest thing for you, if they don't have the tech capabilities, is to outline and remember your 5 key points. Outline those 5 key points that you want to talk about. Then you have your opening, then you have your close, and in between those 5 key points. Keep it short and keep it simple. I hope that was helpful, man. Next question.
All right. So Frankie said, what are some must-haves I need to bring to the conference?
Frankie, good to see you, man. I see you with that Crush velvet winter green tux on too. Frankie Fresh. I gave you a nickname, bro. Frankie Fresh. Hey, when I dap you up at the conference, you make sure you say, hey, remember me, Frankie Fresh, okay? So I'll say this, man, an open mind, bro. An open mind. You're going to get a conference t-shirt. Everybody going to wear their conference t-shirts, I think, on Saturday. If you're in the Speakers Academy, you're going to get a free Speakers Academy t-shirt everybody wears on Sunday. I really can't think of anything that you should bring except for an open mind, man. Be prepared to be poured into. Be prepared to take notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's most important. You know what I'm saying? Pray. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man of faith, like, you know what I'm saying? Just be praying that you receive what you're supposed to receive, and then pray for the people next to you. But that's it, bro. Bring some good energy. Be ready to connect and network and build with people. One thing about our conferences, we actually hired a high-level not analyst, but consultant that shows people how to put together the best events. We did this like 3 years ago, pay her like a lot of money, like $20,000-$30,000 for her to show us how to create the best events. Do you know one thing she told us is to do huddles? So after every 2 speakers, we break up and put y'all in quick sections, and you do a huddle to recap what you just learned. Why? Because most people say that they're at an event for 2, 3, 4 days. They get all this information. They feel overwhelmed, and they don't know what to do with it. So what we're going to do every step of the way, Pranky, we're going to say, okay, let's take a 10-minute break, and let's recap what you just learned, what you just processed, what you're going to implement, and get back at it. And that is what makes people say, that's phenomenal. That's amazing. We ain't never experienced nothing like this. So come with an open mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? And be ready to take notes, be ready to grow, and be ready to build, brother. Can't wait to see you, Frankie Fresh.
Yep, we love it. Chad said, how can I get my first gig as a motivational speaker?
Yeah, good question, Chad. So I tell a lot of people, when you first start, you want to go places where a lot of people aren't bringing people in to speak, like homeless shelters or detention centers or maybe youth groups at schools or churches, right? Like, you want to kind of find out and connect with people that you know. ET does a training within our program that talks about how your contacts in your phone, how your contacts can turn to contracts, right? And so you want to be intentional about saying, let me tap in with the people I already know. You'll be surprised how many people in our community that change their Instagram from whatever fun-loving person to motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, and they start just telling the world on Twitter and X and Facebook and Instagram, like, hey, I'm a motivational speaker now, I'm taking events. Now people that you know is like, hey, you speaking? Hey, could you want to do this for me? Or hey, you speaking, you'd be surprised your network. I just got a call earlier from a friend of mine that's like, man, there's a judge in DeKalb County that's really struggling with something. Can you come in and be a mediator for it? I'm thinking, like, what has happened in my life to where people are asking me to be a mediator for a judge when years ago I was sitting before the judge praying for grace? You know what I'm saying? God did. And so with all that, where's Mike when you need him? Right. But with all that being said, I would say just begin to let people know what you're doing, and then you'll be surprised when you start getting those opportunities here or there. My very first event, Chad, was at a community center in Huntsville, Alabama. Shout out to my man, Minister Fred Whitlow. It was 8 people there in the audience, bro. 2 young mothers. The other 6 people was their little kids running around, crying, playing, fighting, doing what kids do. And I poured my heart out to them because it wasn't about the crowd, right? It was about the conviction in my heart. I knew I had something to speak to those young mothers to let them know that their condition would not be their conclusion. And I was like, you looking at these 6 precious babies that you got running around here, these is God's kids, and he has a plan for them. And it's bigger than this community center. It's bigger than the projects you live in right now. So despise not small beginnings. So get out here, Chad, and do as much good work as you can do, because the more you speak for free, the more you're able to perfect your message. Let me tell you something. I can speak in front of any crowd because of two reasons. One, I was at this crazy school that was off the chain, but you know what prepared me for this crazy school? I was at this homeless shelter in LA. Skid Row. It's crack needles outside. Like, I done been there, y'all. I done been to some of the slums in Miami, speaking in homeless shelters where people is yawning, people is falling out, they fighting, they in there just to get their medicine and leave, they falling asleep on me, babies is crying, like all sorts of stuff going on, and I'm still locked in. There's 50 people locked in with me, you know what I'm saying, but there's 80 other people doing crazy stuff. Like, I done been in so many different engagements and opportunities and environments. I don't care where I'm at, bro, I can go. That's how I can look right here at this camera. I can't even see y'all, but I'm looking right here at this doggone camera, and I'm speaking directly to you. Man, I done been there and done that. So just know, Chad, as you get blessed with the opportunity to speak for free, you're going to be surprised, man, what that's going to do for your life, for your soul, for your heart, and ultimately for your business and your message as a whole, man. Appreciate that question. Let me get another one or two.
Chad said, how can I connect more with you?
Yeah, so I would probably say, at the conference, in our community, it's a struggle on social media. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It's a lot of people that hit me on social media. Like, we literally had to hire somebody just to kind of help to manage that. So social media is hard, you know what I'm saying? I miss a lot of calls, bro, just because I got a lot going on. But I can tap in with people that's in our community. We can tap in if you at the conference. Like, I preserve my energy during the day for my team, our community, my family, and then when I'm at events. So that would be the best way to tap in with me. And if you haven't joined the community yet and you're not ready to come to the conference or you're not able to, like, man, we'll connect in due time, my brother. I really believe it. All right, we got another one.
Now you're waiting on.
Okay, all right, bet. So they coming. So let me say this to y'all, man. If you got any other questions before I get out of here, drop your question in the chat. But I'll say this, before I wrap it up, is I believe all of us have another level, in our lives, and we have to be intentional about pursuing it, about going for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have that next level, and I just don't want you to settle. I don't want you to just try to kind of get by. Like, I really want you to be, all in with what God has for you. So I want you all to be mindful of that. I want y'all to be mindful of that. It's just like, man, God, all right, yep, you want me to go here? Okay, don't go there. Okay, you got to be mindful. Like, don't just flow through life. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to people in the past, like, I'm just trying to get by. It's like, yo, God don't call you. He doesn't call you to just get by. He wants an amazing life for you, right? But you got to connect with the right people. And sometimes it's just exposure. Some of y'all are gonna go to a whole nother level when you get around the right people and you get that exposure. Like, for me, that's what changed my life. When I left Huntsville, Alabama, and I moved to Atlanta, it sparked something inside me. I don't know what it was. I just felt like I literally woke up one day and was like, I gotta get out the city. I lived in Huntsville for 20 years of my life. It's a cool time, cool experience. Went through my growing pains there, my conviction, got married, had my first child, and was just like, all right, it's time to go. Built our first house there and everything, completely uprooted my family. But God was like, yo, you got to make a move. Because the city I was in, people were celebrating me like I won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, nah, I just got drafted to the league. I ain't even made it to training practice yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of just out here just trying to, you know what I'm saying, just getting started. But y'all feel like, oh, you made it. I'm like, nah, I'm trying to hold that Lombardi trophy. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I had to move to another area where I can be stretched and I can be pushed and I can be pulled, you know what I'm saying, so that I can bring out the best in me. And that's all I'm trying to do with y'all with the Next Level Talks. Let me get that next question.
All right, so Logan said, my question is, what systems do you use for researching purposes?
Google. I promise you, Logan. Bro, great question. Appreciate you, fam. For me, I just do Google. And when I research, I do two types of research, right? Because I like to work smart and hard. I would ask the people who's booking me, tell me about it. I can look up some stuff online, give me the nitty gritty. Let me tell you, when I was in educational space, I would talk to the principal, I talk to the guidance counselor, but before I would even get on the phone with them, because I want to be a little savage, Bro, I'm gonna go to the website themselves. I'm gonna see what their mission statement is. Okay, they won state championship. Okay, they're doing a book drive. I'm gonna find 3 or 4 different things that I see that they have going on. Oh, the principal won principal of the year, or their teacher won teacher of the year, or the county district, whatever it is, right? Or you're a new principal, or you celebrate 10. I'm gonna be like, when we meet, I'm like, hey, you're celebrating 10 years, right? Amazing. Phenomenal, congratulations. Hey, you all just launched a book club, right? How's that going? Yeah, I remember when I was young. Hey, you guys won state championship. That was amazing. Hey, I remember Miss Gilbreth, she's probably not here, but tell her I said congratulations. I saw that they feel like, man, you like really invested with us. I'm like, absolutely. Now I'm like, okay, so I saw on your website that you all I've done my research on your school, and I see that you all's theme is every child achieve, right? And so I believe that my program can enhance your mission of every child achieving, and this is how. They feel like, man, you already locked in with us. So I do that type of research that can be light and mild. Then I ask them, okay, now you tell me more of what you need and what you going on and what pain points. But then guess what happens? When you get there on the ground and you meet the regular folks. I can't tell you how many times I got to school and I'm in the hallway. They're like, hey, you're our guest speaker. I'm like, yeah. I dap them up. I shake their hand. Nice to meet them. I'm walking with them to the school. Hey, before I get in here, what would you say some of the biggest challenges the teachers are having? Bro, I'm doing my research right there on the spot, bro. I done already did my stuff online. I done already read articles. I done already went to the school's website. I done already talked to the principal and the guidance counselor. But now I done came across this teacher. We got a 2-minute walk to the auditorium. I'm about to ask some questions. Or while they're doing whatever, I'm going to ask the teacher next to me like, man, what's one of the biggest things the kid's struggling with? Or what's one of the biggest gripes to the principal? I want to know. And now I can address that. So I do that type of research. I look up stuff online. I'm going to Google. And then and when you do research, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at the National Science Foundation, like a lot of credible sites when it comes to information I need to prove a point or to enhance a theory. I do that type of research. So I hope that was helpful. Yep.
Good. All right. So Dr. Hill said, what is your advice for a speaker trying to combine their personal and professional messages?
What's up, Dr. Hill? So what advice for a speaker trying to combine their personal and professional messages? So I would need to know more, but let me say this. Because is it your personal life in a professional message? That's probably what it is. Because nobody really has a personal message and a professional message. So you're probably talking about your personal life in your professional messages. Well, I weave that in all the time, right? Like I told you all in the episode a few weeks ago, I'm a hypocrite. And I told one of the examples I gave was how I just got to telling this big pharmaceutical company I was speaking for, you got to be more present with your kids. When they come home, you should give them your undivided attention. And then a week later, I'm home and Jules like, daddy, daddy, daddy. And I was fussing at her like, baby, I'm busy doing work. And God was like, remember what you just told these people? Stop being a hypocrite. So now I can take that story and guess what I'm going to do, Dr. Hill? Is next time I go in front of a corporation, I'm going to say, hey, after I give that theory, after I give the breakdown of occupational integrity, I think that's like the 4th or 5th point, like all the energy you give to your company, your organization, do you give that same energy to your family? And I challenge them on that, then I'll have that transparent moment when I can say, now let me let you know, it's not always as easy as it seems. I've been traveling the world with this message, and I live by it and stand by it. But there are times, even myself, where I have to catch myself and I say, this is not occupational integrity. As a matter of fact, I just spoke for this big company a week ago, and then a few days after the event, I found myself at home at 4:30 when I should have been jumping on the trampoline with my kids, squirting them with the water hose. You know, so I found myself saying, shh, daddy's on the call, and then unmute the call. Yeah, so, and I was just like, so I know how hard it can be, but I'm just letting you know we have to be intense. So I can take that personal message, that personal experience, and weave that into my professional message. If it fits with the audience, Dr. Hill. I hope that was helpful, right? It's like there are some things that when it comes to business and wealth and investing and marriage, I wouldn't share to a bunch of high school kids because they can understand that. But I'm also not going to go in front of a company and talk about how my father went in my life and I struggle with this and I failed to school, but a bunch of teachers connected with my heart. Like these people, it's like, okay, but we kind of run an IBM. What they got to do with us? So you want to be intentional about the personal messages you share and with that professional message so that it really connects with the audience. Yep. Okay.
Good. All right. So Chris Lacey said, I believe it's time to write my book. What is the best way to go about publishing and how would you recommend starting the writing process?
What's up, Chris? Good to hear from you, sis. So when it comes to, first off, I'm excited for the book. Tell me more about the book. Come on, put in the chat. I want to know. You got the title. You got the subtitle. Who's the audience? I'm excited, Chris. So I'll say this. So in the Speakers Academy, we have a book writing and publishing course. So I would definitely, and that's free. So I would say tap in with that. That's going to show you how to self-publish it, right? And so I don't mind, kind of helping you along the way with the process. But I'll say this. I think the biggest thing is the writing. And this is what I tell people. When it comes time for you to write that book, like you have to really take the time to schedule out your writings, right? Like when I was writing my books, I would write all my books in 2-3 months. Why? Because I put myself on a schedule. Or I might be writing that book for 6 months, but I'm just constantly taking notes, and I'm constantly, and God reveals so much, and I'm putting this in my notes, and I'm documenting it, right? I'm archiving it. Then when I actually sit down and write, I have a really strong outline to work from. But I would say the biggest thing is to schedule the time that you write. It could be the mornings, it could be the evenings when you put your baby boy down and you get settled. Like you can find those times that works for you and stick with it. Like that should be law. And then as you go through the writing process, the very next step is to get it edited. But before you get it edited, you want to have some people proof it. So you find some people that you know, love, like, respect. I always tell people when you put together a peer review, you want to find 10 to 12 people. Why? Because half of them are going to respond and agree to do it, and then half of them are actually going to read the whole thing. So if you ask 12 people to do it, 6 of them will actually say, yes, I'll do it, and then 3 of them will actually do it, and that's all you need is 3. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say do. This is very important, Christian, to everyone else who's watching that's writing the book. You have to give them permission to critique you. You have to give them permission to make you great. This is the mistake I made. I put together 7, 3, 4 people because I didn't know the importance of 10 or 12. That's why I'm telling you the importance of it. I learned the hard way. I called 3 people and they don't come through. I'm like, okay, let me reach out to more. And when people start giving me feedback, this is what it was. Oh, Jeremy, I love the book. Oh, I love when you said this. Oh, this book is going to be a blessing. Oh, it made me cry. And I'm like, man, I'm not asking for that. How can it be better? Like, were there any run-on sentences? Did I have 2, 3 paragraphs that you were confused, or I felt like I was just blabbing? Did I feel kind of biased when it came to some theories? Like, was that the wrong scripture? Like, I'm asking all these questions. Like, I literally said, hey, do me a favor. When you give me this feedback, I'm not looking for compliments. Thank you for that. But right now, I'm looking for how it can be better. So now they're like, oh, so I said, you can service me the best way by being brutally honest and transparent. Well, what's going on, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Your role is pivotal in helping my book be the best it can be. Now, when you take that approach, now people feel more comfortable, but just being raw, honest, and let you know how they feel, okay? Did she give us any insight about the book?
She said she's going to share that privately, but she said, will you proof it for her?
Yes, I'm glad that you're going to share it privately. That makes sense. And I cannot commit to proofing it. I ain't going to lie. My heart is like, I got you, Chris. But my brain is like, boy, don't you lie to her on live television. I'm like, don't you do that. We got love for you, Chris, but I can't commit to that. But I will walk you through the process. And the community can. And I got you. And we'll get with Deanna to see how we can find some folks in the community. But I myself, I could even read an overview and I got some other ideas, but let me not say it online. Because if I say what I want to do for you online, other people are, hey, I know what you did for Chris. Can you? Chris is different. All right, look, y'all. Any other questions before I wrap it up? Mario
said, what's up, new in the community, unsure exactly what lane to go toward in speaking faith, addiction recovery. When asked, what's the best way to connect with someone to help dial in?
Man, great question, Mario. And welcome. Y'all show Mario some love in the chat, man. Y'all put welcome to Mario in the chat, man. Welcome, Mario. So I'll say this, unsure exactly what lane to go towards in speaking. So if you're super new to the community, you probably haven't had time to go through the course yet. So this is what I'll say as far as the course is concerned. And because we got 3 courses in one, we're going to be releasing soon. ET did a whole new course that's called Speaker's Edge. Then Inky Johnson has a whole masterclass course, which is phenomenal. And then I have a whole course itself. Also, from the business, the marketing, branding, everything, how to outline your message, your story, and how to choose your audience in your lane. So as you go through that, that's going to give you a lot of insight. But for the sake of time now, I'll briefly answer your question, and I'll say this here. You want to ask yourself, what audience or what group of people can most benefit from your story? Where is your story, your message most needed? So who can most connect with you? Who can most benefit from it and connect, right? And then what organizations or audiences offer you the most opportunities to speak, right? And so if you say, hey, I speak in faith, addiction recovery, I can see two things easily. And I will, just from what you share with me here, I see two different areas. If you speak on faith, then you could definitely do churches faith-based. And you talk about addiction recovery. Some people will say, oh yeah, with AA meetings and addiction recovery groups and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's not going to get you compensated for it. Your message should be on the big stage. You know who needs a message on overcoming? Really, your message is a message of overcoming. Come on, Mario, your message is a message of overcoming, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you go through addiction recovery, like you were able to overcome that. Like, bro, I understand what happens to the brain when serotonin is released and you got the addiction and you want to do that thing, like whatever it is. There are some people that's addicted to drugs and alcohol and pills and porn and food and all sorts of stuff. You fought it. You won. You know what I'm saying? You speak on faith and having big faith. You've gone through adversities. So depending on your style, your energy, your flow, I'm a big advocate for men and women empowerment or corporate or universities or schools, young people. They need your message, your story. So it all depends on your age and your vibe. Not that you have to be young to speak in schools. I'm just saying, like, your energy, like you want to think about that. When you look at your story, it's just like, okay, when I was in schools, now I wasn't talking about addiction and drug and alcohol abuse for middle school kids, but for high schoolers, yeah. I was like, yo, leave that stuff alone. Stop vaping. That smoking is killing you. You're going to look crazy 8 years from now. Like, these companies got all sorts of poisonous there. Do you know how precious and how amazing, how powerful your brain is? Like, I'm going in there with a different type of message ministering to them, right? So when you talk about faith, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people talk about the faith that they have in their belief system, and they're not talking about God. They don't have to mention God or Jesus, right? So there are so many different ways that you can share that message of faith and recovery. But just know, brother, I believe from the little bit I've read here, is that you have a more holistic approach. Like the hierarchy, like the umbrella is a message of overcoming. I'm believing that's a lot that you've overcome in life, which is what has put you in this position. And now you have, because you can't stand on stage and speak about faith if you ain't ever overcame nothing. And talking about, you know what I'm saying, addiction and recovery. So I already know that you have that inside you. So I would say lean in with that, okay? Is it time to wrap?
All
there
right.
we go.
So Frankie said my brand.
No, that's not Frank. That's Frankie Fresh.
Oh, Frankie Fresh said my brand is geared toward being made different. How do I position my talking points to pull people's greatness versus the selfishness of being yourself?
Okay, so my brand is geared towards being made different. So I think, if your overall message is made different, then I'm guessing you're telling the people that they've been made different. Frankie, also help me out. Put in the chat real quick, Frankie, who your audience is. Is it high school students? Is it corporate women? Like, is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it universities? Like, that's going to help me figure out how to suggest the angle or the approach that you take when it comes to this topic of made different. And how do I position my talking points to pull people greatness versus selfishness of being yourselves. So you want them to be their self, but realize that they've been made different. Does that make sense? And so I believe high school, there we go. So go back to the question. So I believe, you know, if you want people, you want them to be themselves, but you want them to be the best version of themselves. There we go. So don't tell them, I don't want you just to be yourself, because some people will say, be yourself. No. Be the best version of yourself. Why? Because you've been made different. You've been made, you've been wired, you've been designed to lead. You've been made, you've been wired, you've been designed to grow. You've been made, you've been wired, you've been designed to give. You've been made, you've been wired, you've been designed to serve. You've been made, you've been wired, you've been designed to excel. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you let them know, like, you've been made for so much more. You're made different. You know what I'm saying? And so tell them to embrace their different, their uniqueness, and be themselves, but be the best version of themselves. And you do that as you share your story. So you gotta make it real to you. You know what I'm saying? So don't just stand in front of them and say, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. Be open, be vulnerable, be transparent. Talk about the time when you settled. Talk about the time when you were super average. Talk about the time when you wasn't focused on being the better version of you. You was just like, this is who I am. Y'all got to deal with it, as opposed to growing and evolving. Like, talk about the time you thought you was just regular and you didn't realize how you was special and fearfully wonderfully made. Talk about the time maybe you was bullied, when you was pushed aside, when you got into a fight, when your heart got broken, when you was failing, when the teacher said this about you, when your father walked out on you, like all the different things that you've gone through, that you've overcome. I feel like the most powerful and the speakers that make the biggest impact, let me be clear, because all speakers, I believe all speaking can be ministry and you can make an impact. But when you help people overcome what it is they're going through, there are some people that you're going to stand in front of and your message alone, this is like, okay, this is not just a know-how. You're helping me now overcome this very thing I've been struggling with. So I would say make it personal, man. And I believe that's really going to, connect with the people. Man, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Before we leave, this is the last next level talks that we're doing before the conference. In case anybody is watching this and they get a text or an email from my team, or they're scrolling through YouTube and they happen to be watching this before June 7th, and you're thinking about flying in to Atlanta, I want y'all to check out this brief, quick little video so you can get a glimpse from what took place last year, so you can have an idea of what to expect this year at our annual Next Level Speakers Conference. Check this out.
This is only day one, and I'm losing my mind because I'm already changed.
Incredible. And so many connections. It's crazy.
I came to take my speaking to the next level. They took my life to the next level.
Ain't no competition when you make it to the top.
More family time, more abundance. You've been made for more. Either you're in the midst of adversity, just came out of adversity, or you're about to head into some adversity. So you better be prepared for it either way.
Don't miss it because it's life-changing.
Hey, the #1 professional speakers conference in the world, man. I'm excited, man. NextLevelSpeakersConference.com. Check it out. If you can't make it, pray over it. If you can make it, you got to be there. You know, so it's going to be something special, man. I'm really excited what me and my team have built and we have put together. So that's my time, man. The most holistic so I can't wait to see y'all there, man. Let me pray for you. Like I end all of my next level talks, I want to pray for you and send you off so that you can live life truly on the next level. God, I'm grateful for this time we've had together. I pray that you bless every person that's on with me live and those watching the recordings. They've made it to the end, Lord. They're obviously absorbing all of this content. They want to grow. They want to be the best version of themselves. I'm assuming that. Give them the desire. Give them the interest, give them the desire, the want, the need, Lord, that sense of urgency to win at home and in life and in business and their finances and in their health and then mentally and emotionally and spiritually, Lord. So I pray that you will show them the gaps, show them the different areas in which they can grow, then give them the boldness to move forward and make the necessary adjustments so we can be everything that you've called us to be. God, I want to pray over the conference now, my team, everybody that's flying in, the angels that you're going to dispatch and be on that in that place, God. I'm praying for every person that's going to take the opportunities presented to them, that's going to take them lives to the next level. You know who should be in the room. So I just present that to you now and thank you in advance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Man. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. Thank you for watching to the end. Again, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, like it. If you haven't already liked it, you know what I'm saying? Show me and the team some love. And all we're trying to do on these next level talks is have some real talk. It's an opportunity for you to hear from me, to speak from my heart, to kind of help you along on this journey so you can experience everything that God has for you. All right, I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. Let's get it.